Well, folks, welcome back. This is LabWest MINEx 2026. I'm extremely excited to have someone else from the government of Newfoundland and Labrador. But before that, I want to shout out to our sponsor. Aramark is a thought leader sponsor today, and this would not be possible if they didn't sponsor us. So thank you to Aramark for doing that. I'm going to throw it over to Lloyd for anyone who doesn't know him, so he can introduce himself, and we'll have a chat from there, Lloyd.
Yep, sounds good. Hi, my name is Lloyd Parrott. I'm the Minister of Energy, Mines, Government House Leader for the newly elected Progressive Conservative Government of Newfoundland and Labrador, and I'm super happy to be back home here in Wabush, Labrador.
It's amazing. Yeah, I noticed that. Wabush, Labrador. Not everyone says it that way, right? Last year I made a post and I didn't include Wabush. I'm learning, Lloyd, about the province. But, tell us a little bit about, the experience to date. You've been in your position now for, what?
104 days.
104. I knew it was after 100. But tell us a little bit about, the experience to date.
No, so it's been a great experience. We got our phone calls on the 28th of October. The next day we were sworn in. And after the races, literally, we left our swearing in and went straight to work. So we've been working 16, 18 hours a day ever since. And we say that not tongue-in-cheek. It's been a real thing. Trying to keep pace with the Premier, actually. So the Premier has been on a torrid pace. And I love to listen to the critics say that he's been silent, but he's been far from silent. And we've been behind closed doors doing the work that has to happen. And it's an exciting time to be a Newfoundlander in Labrador.
Well, it's funny, I've been on the road for 3 weeks, and it just so happens every time I'm either meeting the Premier or his entourage, and I tell you, I'm tired. I don't even know how to begin. You guys are working your butts off,
Yeah, no, and it's good. And I'll go to my portfolio, a little different than most portfolios. So energy and mines, obviously, it's the horse that drags the carriage, right? So our responsibility is to bring revenue into the province, and all the other departments are successful based on what we do. So, currently we've got the Bay Nord contract, which we're trying to bring across the line. I'm sure that everyone's aware that we have an MOU that was signed with Quebec for CF1, CF2, and the Gull Island construction, not to mention 4 new mines that are just about ready to start production. They're actually kind of competing with each other to get to that point. Cami happening here in Labrador West. We've got search minerals down on the south coast, and it's an exciting time to be in Labrador, and more specifically, exciting time to be in Newfoundland and Labrador.
Well, I agree with you. I'm a huge advocate for the province. I've traveled extensively, and it's funny, listening to you rhyme off all the different projects, I don't know how you keep track of it all. But I want to bring it to Labrador in particular. This morning you had a very inspirational speech to lead off this. You talked some numbers. I don't know if you remember all those numbers, but they were staggering. Billions of dollars coming out of the Labrador Trough area. Right?
Yeah, so $3.34 billion last year just in exports for green steel, really, not steel, but high quality iron ore.
Yeah.
And that's the tip of the iceberg of what we're going to see here, right? If Cami goes ahead, we're watching right now Cami at a point where they're past their pre-feasibility going into their feasibility study. They've done a lot of work, they've invested a lot of money, and very excited about them moving forward. Obviously, everyone knows that we have a problem with transmission and electricity here in Labrador West, so that's a big goal. We're currently waiting on some funding from the federal government that would allow us to go into the second stage of that feasibility study to make that happen. All things that haven't happened and should have happened a very long time ago. Very huge priority for me.
Well, I think I get a sense that you're moving things quicker. Speed is important, is it not? You got to do it right, but there has to be some speed to this. Would you agree?
So we live in a time now where federal government has decided to invest a lot of money in federal infrastructure. Part of that has to do with their commitments at the G7, certainly with NATO countries. And what a lot of people don't realize is that energy and critical minerals are a huge part of that investment. And so anything that we invest becomes a part of our 5% GDP spend that we've committed to for NATO. So, government smartly has decided that they're going to put their money into things that create jobs, that allow us to transition into green energy, such as our clean offshore oil and gas and LNG, our clean green iron ore, our rare earth minerals. So it's a highly important time for us to be ahead of everyone else, because make no mistake, the rest of Canada and certainly the rest of the world is in a rush to move these things forward too, right?
Well, Lloyd, you know, we're standing on the floor, we're right in the corner of the facility, and everyone, like, I was here last year, this is incredibly busy. Obviously, there's a lot of optimism in this industry, rightly so, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, so we talked to people here this week from California, from Japan, I mean, there's people here from all over the world, literally. So I think that Labrador has found its place on the map now, and that people know that this is a good place to invest and that the future is bright. And all you got to do is look, like you just said, around here at all the vendors, and this place is full. I would argue as full as any trade show we have in Newfoundland.
Well, Lloyd, you know what? You gave service to your country in the military. Now you're doing it as an elected official. You don't need to do any of that, and you have my respect. Thank you for your service.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for the opportunity to speak.